Alright, if you guys didn't know, I was supposed to have a boxing fight on January the 7th, but I pulled out because of this thing here. I was going to be fighting a 1-0 boxer, but yeah, for a lot of reasons, I pulled out. And just to show how much this guy was actually on it, he was already planning to have another fight before he fought me. So yeah, I was going into the deep end, but gracefully, I pulled out. But today, I had the chance to interview him, to have a little chat with him, ask him a few questions about the Twitter boxing community. So, yeah, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, today, I'm here with my old opponent, but then I pussied out. Nah, not really, but alright, today I'm here with vibing Jallum. First of all, Jallum, sorry.
Fine, I completely understand. It's the fight game, isn't it? So I'm not going to hold it against you. Well, you told me in advance, so there's no there's no beef there, is there?
I wanted to fight. Obviously, you have a bit of nerves, but I did want to fight. But yeah, you know, shit happens, life goes on. But yeah, so you told me that you had an announcement.
Well, one's a good one and one's a bad one. Which one do you want first?
I say bad. Let's go with the bad. And then
first. I'm not fighting on the 19th anymore.
Oh,
sadly, there's been an issue with the venue. They've tried to get they've getting two events in one day, in the daytime and the nighttime. Obviously, I was saying no one wants to get punched in the face in the day. You want to get punched in the face in the night.
Definitely.
But I'll pull out so people that can actually have the chance to fight, because I've fought before on it. So I just said, if there's anything goes wrong, give me a belt. Ideally not in the day. I'll be like a chicken parma or something, and they're like, come on, you need to be coming fighting, and I'll be like, oh no.
That would be scenes. That would be scenes, though. That would be scenes if you just stepped.
That would be scenes.
What's the good news?
The good one. The good one is we found myself a replacement opponent already.
Oh.
I'm not saying who it is, but all I'm going to say, it'll be announced soon. I'm sure SCP will announce it. However, if I win this fight, this will put me in the top pound for pound person in the small community. You know why? Because they're 9-1.
9-1.
They're 9-1.
Me dropping out was a bit of a blessing, because I mean, I don't have a record. I've never fought before. Now you're going someone for 9-1. You've got some steel balls. Like,
I'm either incredibly brave or incredibly stupid, because we'll find out.
Yeah, no, we will find out soon. And I want to be watching.
I have no idea if I'm going to win this. I know they're 9-1. They're out of practice, however, but they're still 9-1.
Still 9-1.
This is not an insult to the person I'm fighting. We've spoken before, and it's all calm. But I'm doing that Jake Paul thing, fighting people that are a bit older than me.
No, I was going to say probably, but will most definitely be better than KSI's. It'll be better than Luis Alcaraz Pineda. So
Pineda's the goal. What are you on about?
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I mean, not as good as Swarms, but we'll leave that discussion to another time.
No, the Swarms is top tier. Yeah. But one thing's for sure, I think it's a blessing in disguise as well that I'm not fighting on the 19th. Because also I was thinking this, because this has actually been the case for a few days that I've not been fighting on the 19th.
That is crazy. That is crazy. And I've got
crazy. 9-1.
So I've got a couple more questions to ask you. First one is, in my video where I was reacting to boxing in the community. When I spoke about you, what did you think about what I said?
Fair enough, wasn't it? I was going like, I've said it 101 different times. The first time you fight, I did boxing for a few weeks beforehand. Then because for another fight, but then the fight got cancelled. It was the year before, and then I obviously didn't box, but then I went onto the white collar. I probably trained for 6 weeks because I was ill for 2 of them, and 6 weeks training and then jumping in front of a 600-pack ram crowd for the first time in your life. You're like, what's going on here? And yeah, you get an adrenaline dump. All your technique goes out the window. I can swear, can I?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Are you shitting bricks? There's a few people in the community that have fought maybe in front of 100 or 200 people, but 600 is different, especially when you're the villain and their family's right next to the ring screaming at you. It was completely fair, to be honest, because it did look awful. The next fight that I was meant to be doing in the 19th, I would have looked a load better, so that would have been good. But obviously for the SCB fight, this isn't a diss on SCB, but the capacity won't be 600, so it's not going to be as bad. Because if you go into a fight and you're completely 100% confident and you're not nervous at all, there's something wrong.
First of all, while I was recording that video, that's when I was first approached about fighting you, so I was like, I don't want to be too nice in case we're going to fight and we have to shit talk each other. One thing that I was going to say in that video, what I missed out, was your actual ability compared to the rest of the guys in the video. They're all fighting in the fucking mum's back garden. They're fighting in the middle of a park. I mean, so obviously they're not going to fight in the way they would under the lights. Obviously, I didn't say that in the video, but
I think you did say, to be fair, I think you did say you might have been the bright lights as well. Excuse, I don't even know what that is. If you can hear that massive banging.
The 9-1 boxer outside.
You better not be. I'm not ready.
So my next question was, how do you feel about your last performance? I mean, you've already said, but is there anything else you want to say about?
People are going to know who I'm saying it's about, but it's not the same as fighting in front of 5 of your mates in your backyard or in your living room or something.
I know what you're talking about. I know you're talking about. So from that last fight, what have you taken away from that? Which you think I'm going to improve that for my next fight?
I was quite tired, but I think that was more down to the adrenaline. adrenaline dump, but also better footwork.
I think that comes down to the clinching as well. The boxing's kind of going out the window, not because you mean for that, just because at the end of the day you're going to want to win that fight in the clinch. So, next question. I want you to list a couple people in the community that you want to take on.
There's two in the US, but I've spoken to Dennis already, because me and Dennis have already had our back and forths in the past few weeks, but I think we were a bit late, I think, to that, because we're calm, because I thought he was coming to the UK. I expected him to fight me if he was coming over anyway, but we've squashed it now. It's completely fine. I'm fine with Dennis. Obviously, Social Showdown, because me and him have verbally agreed we'll fight, but that's more of a friendly, because me and him are good mates. And there's one other person which you might have you saw on the Twitter.
I did see.
Said he would maybe next year. So Waffle, like next year, if he can get to the Jake KSI fight.
At the moment, how do you see that fight going?
I like Waffle. He's a good kid, and you can say like his technique's better than mine from what you've seen. But I don't know how tall he is. Like I'm pretty sure he's quite small. I think he's like 5'6", 5'7" or something as well. He weighs a lot more than me. However, like it just means you're gonna get really tired. And I just think I'll walk him down and just outpace him. But I feel like he thinks he's got all the power in the world over me. But I think he'd be surprised.
Boxing wise, I've said it to him on message as well, but I feel like he doesn't train to box, he trains just to have a scrap. Whereas if I feel like you train to box,
you've kind of got to be ready for a scrap at this point, because the level we're at, we're not all, you can say we're boxers, but like at the end of the day we're fighters more so than boxers, if that makes sense. Like,
I get you.
Some people might get mad at me saying that.
No.
Like, at the end of the day, that's what it is, really.
I don't think he's still having 2 fights in one night, is he? I think.
Oh, he's not doing that anymore.
I just feel like you could easily outbox him. Don't get me wrong. I feel like it would be a close fight, because
I think it'd be a good scrap. Like I'm not going to deny it. Like I think it'd be a good scrap, but I feel like I can't say this much because I think I kind of do as well. You put yourself on a pedestal, but then you've kind of got to look at who you fought. Because I personally think the Pat Waffle fought is definitely not the same Pat that Trey fought.
Yeah. Oh no, 100%.
We all know the situation with like how Pat's mindset was behind that fight, and Pat arguably won that round. So
yeah, no,
and he just gave up.
In the community, there's 2 types of people. There's people that thought Trey Ingram won that fight, and people that thought Pat won that fight. Called him Tap.
Won that fight, yeah.
Who do you think won that fight?
Trey.
I agree with you. I don't.
It wasn't a massive difference. Trey got it, but not by like miles and leaps and bounds.
It was an amazing fight. Like I thought,
great. It was entertaining.
For the level they were at. I mean, the boxing was shit. Like before this interview, I'd done a shit, and I had better boxing ability on the toilet. The way that they just took the bangs with like no head guards as well. That was amazing.
They went for it. They went 8 rounds, I think, as well. So you can't knock it. They were knackered, but it was 8 rounds. So I'd love to see you doing 8 rounds without being tired.
I swear it was only supposed to be 6 rounds as well, and they made it 8 rounds.
I think one thing I don't. There's no disrespect to like. I think it's Real Talk, I think he's called. No disrespect, but they should not have made it a poll to vote, because Pat was going to win that because more people knew who Pat was. So
100%. I can say that Patrick does have heart, and I mean it was a very entertaining fight.
With Waffle, he fought not Pat. He didn't fight Pat.
He fought Tap. Guy I was talking about earlier.
He fought Tap. Yeah.
So yeah, who do you think the best boxer in the community is?
Not including the people that don't like being included in the community anyway. Yeah. I know Rand's quite good. He's in one of the group chats if you're in them.
Mate, I'm not in any group chats at all, so
I'll invite you to him. Dennis and what he's shown is quite good, but we'll find out how good Dennis actually is when he gets walked on by someone. I think I'm up there.
Oh no,
as bad as it sounds to say, but
no. I do think you are, because at the end of the day, for the level of competition you fought, if instead of that Donny you were fighting in the ring, if they replaced him with Tap, then I reckon it would have been a clean cut KO.
I don't know about KO, because in the end of the day there were head guards of 16 ounces, maybe just stoppage. Or like maybe give up, but KO, you're gonna have to wait for me to be fighting in some smaller gloves and no head guards before you see me KO someone.
Who do you think is gonna win, Dennis Bell or Trey Ingram?
It's things really where I think Dennis has a game plan. Trey is bigger than Dennis, like the frame of him's bigger, so probably he can generate more power. But I feel like Trey just throws arm punches, so he's not gonna utilize all the power he's got. But I feel like Dennis can throw a punch. He knows how to jab and he's got decent footwork, so I feel like he'll just piece him up. I can see Dennis getting a decision. If Dennis just jabs the hell out of him, uses his distance, he maneuvers around him, and Trey, if Trey's going to beat Dennis, it has to be dirty.
What I've seen from Dennis so far, I think if he gets those nerves, he doesn't stay composed against a guy who's had quite a few fights, not just in boxing, but wrestling and things like that.
I feel like Trey won't get nervous. That'll be one of Trey's main advantages.
This is one of the last questions. You against Waffle, what do you think would happen?
I'm not going to be a liar. If it's SCB, which it will be because it's in the UK, I'm going to push for longer rounds. If Waffle ran at me 3 rounds, it might be more more in his favour, to be honest. I was thinking that Lord of the Rings quote, us dwarves are natural sprinters, so he might be really good. He might be really good short. I want a long fight.
Yeah.
I want 6-8 rounds, mate. I see it as the earlier rounds, they favour him, because that's when his energy levels are the highest, but then when they get the longer it goes, the more I'll probably start to drown him a bit. Realistically, it's going to be a unanimous decision for me, or maybe a late TKO.
Yeah, so before we end the interview, I just want to play a little game.
Let's go then.
I'm going to list boxes in the community, and you're allowed 3 responses.
I've seen these games. Yeah, go on. Let's
go. You're going to say KO, unanimous decision, or they beat you.
Against me?
Yeah, against you. First, this one's a bit unexpected. I'm going to go Fred Talks fighting.
You know, because the weight difference is so different. I know I'm only meant to say one word, but TKO from, like, I'll TKO and
Fox the G.
TKO, just too light. They're too light.
Patrick Typlusion.
TKO or KO.
Dennis Bell.
Decision, TKO.
Social Showdown.
Decision.
Who's the guy who twatted the guy on the back of the head like 10 times?
That kid that, I don't even remember his name. Is it Yesify or something?
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a fight. Murder. No offense to the kid, but
thank you for your time. I appreciate it a lot. Is there anything you want to say?
Just watch how I perform against a 9-1 boxer. Win, lose or draw, you can't say I'm a pussy.
So Vibin Jallum is fighting on the Small Creator Boxing event on January 7th. So be sure to follow Jallum and Small Creator Boxing so you don't miss out on any information about his up and coming fight. But don't go anywhere because tomorrow I am live on stream probably all day. Friday the 28th of October, and I'm going to be saying prime 100,000 times live on stream. But yeah, if you want to see me suffer, tune in. And yeah, see you guys in a bit.